solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
I will perform with fidelity
I will perform with fidelity
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
to which I have been elected
to which I have been elected
and which I am about to assume,
and which I am about to assume,
that I will faithfully demean myself
that I will faithfully demean myself
as such officer,
as such officer,
and that I will support
and I will support
and defend
and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the state of Tennessee
of the state of Tennessee
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the United States of America.
of the United States of America.
Go over here and sign and I'll follow up.
Hey son, you gonna get in there with that book of yours? Yeah, that book. Hold it up. Whoa. All right.
You want to do one more? I'll take this. Wait, no. Oh, sorry. In and out of the back of it.
Wait a minute, where you going with that book? Hold that book. There you go. One more time. All right, sorry.
And you can take your seat, Rhonda.
Come on, State.
Okay, everybody got their mics on? Okay. It's hot up here. Ooh. I'm burning up.
Before we start, next Tuesday after our meeting, we'd like to take a picture of the new council, so dress accordingly. And we'll have one with just the mayor and council, and then we will have one with our recorder and city manager and several others. So if you'd be prepared for that, I'd appreciate it. And Mr. Hutto as well. This belongs to Laura.
Got 4 minutes.
Okay. It's okay to visit. We've got 4 minutes, or 3.5. He said he had great-grandchildren.
I thought you were coming up and standing with me.
No.
You didn't want to?
No, there was enough. There was enough.
Okay.
I wanted the family to be there.
Okay. I gotta read the resolution.
Yeah. I'll welcome and turn it over to you.
Did you say something to Matt?
Did the Braves play today?
No, not since, that's the first. I think
I wanted to watch my brother, but I got sleepy. The Braves were playing the Padres. That's where. Yeah, he from UT. Tears. That's where he went. I don't know if he's actually been any time. It was how do you stay awake long enough to see? I think they were playing out there. You know, it lay here early there.
Oh, yeah. Make sure everybody's mic's on. I asked them. It's 4:59.
Mine on?
Yes, yours is on.
Was it Taylor or Tyler? Got killed. Newell. Where's your phone? That's okay, I won't say anything. We'll save it.
It's 4:59.
Was it Tyler?
Was it?
4:59.
Okay. All right, it's ready. It's ready, Magic.
Welcome to our work session, and certainly a special welcome to our newest councilman. Glad to have you aboard, and look forward to working with you. Gina?
Okay. Has everybody got their mic on? It'll be green when you, okay. All righty. To clarify, this is the monthly work session of the mayor and council. This is a meeting that is held each month to allow the members to discuss specific items in preparation for the regular council meeting, which is held on the second Tuesday of each month. The dialogue of this meeting will be between the mayor, council, and staff members only. This time for citizens' input involvement will come at the regular meeting to be held the next Tuesday during the citizens' input portion of the meeting. We respectfully ask that you hold your comments and questions until that time unless called upon, and after the meeting, if you would promptly leave the council chambers. Thank you.
Okay. First item on the agenda.
Item number 1, discuss Mr. Robert Brooks' interest in purchasing vacant lot on 4th Avenue owned by the city of Lewisburg.
What's his name again?
Robert Brooks.
Mr. Brooks,
Yes.
give us your name and your address, please.
Robert Brooks, 1033 West Commerce.
Okay. Go ahead, tell us what,
4th Avenue North, 424.
like to purchase the property if it's available.
Yes, that's why I told you to come by the work session meeting. Two things that go along with it. Number one, the council has to be interested in actually selling the property. Number two, there's a process by which we have to offer it up. And I knew our attorney, Mr. Hutto, would be here, so I'll let him explain the process we have to go through before we can offer it for sale. And it's this way with everything. We had one come up a year or so ago. Guy wanted to purchase a piece of property out by New Lake, and we explained the same process to him. He never followed up with it, but same thing applies here. So Mr. Hutto will tell you what needs to be done.
Before we go to him, do you plan to put one or two dwellings on it?
Just one.
Just one.
One, okay. Mr. Hutto?
So any property that the city owns, there's a defined process in the charter to sell it. First, there has to be a resolution from the council saying that the property surplus property that the city doesn't have a use for. So there's not a plan to eventually make it part of the park. There's not a plan to put some sort of utility installment there. There's not some need for it that the city has. So if the city looks at it and does that, then they can say that it's surplus, and then they have to advertise it in the paper and take sealed bids on it. And I guess the highest bid wins, and there's a amount of time the bid is open, and so we could, I guess the council could start that process. We could look and see, and I guess if it is surplus, or if it's within the city's long-term plans to use it. I don't personally know that. And once that's decided, if they declare it surplus, then they could advertise it for sale.
Okay.
The process of putting it up for one, you'd have a vote here. Two, how long is the process of the bid itself? How long would the bid be open?
I'd have to look at the charter specifically, but it's probably got to be published in the paper a certain number of days, either 21 or 30 usually, and then the date the auction or the closed auction closes, or that all the bids have to be in by will be 30 days from the date of the first publication usually.
Okay. We saw a number when we looked at the parcel. Is that like a starting bid?
The appraisal amount.
No, that is just probably the tax card appraisal that the Marshall County property assessor puts on every parcel in
Okay.
the county. So, and I guess it would probably be a starting bid because the city probably couldn't take less than that under the charter, and probably than some of the different state laws on selling properties, I think.
And if by chance y'all make that decision, how long would it take for one, we would find out through the paper, is that we'd have to keep looking to see when that parcel will be bidded on, if it's agreed to sell?
Right, I would say you could see, if the city entered a resolution saying it was surplus property, you could probably expect to see an ad in the paper sometime in the next 2 weeks.
So there's no other notification?
Well, not that soon, because I think part of what you said, this has to see whether there's no need for it, and
Right.
I think we need to send this first, to answer that question, to our Recreation Board and let them make a recommendation on whether there's a need for it or whether it is indeed surplus. And in addition, I would, if that's the case, I would want a certified appraisal made by an independent appraiser rather than what the tax assessor has, because usually that's well below market value.
True.
And lastly, the only way we would know would be through the papers. There wouldn't be a personal notification because we were interested in it.
No, just check with us every
Yeah,
little bit.
You can swing by City Hall.
I don't think the
We'll
investigation
keep you up to date.
as to whether or not it's surplus property could be done in time to vote by next council meeting, but
Okay.
maybe by the May meeting.
Okay, so 30 to 60 days to get the
then it
process
just need to
started.
be published if it is surplus.
But the city manager's here all the time, so he'll keep you informed. Questions?
Not that we can think of.
I just want, how did the city end up owning that property?
You want to tell that?
The Marshall County got it in a tax sale a few years ago, and it looks like they quit-claimed it to the city, probably because it adjoined the park. And
I
there was
see.
It's just from the basic deed history that I have.
Okay.
I think it was back taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be the old library way back.
Once upon a time. Then when it went under, they had a couple of trailers there, and they had fallen in. And, yeah.
I believe we received it because of back taxes is how we received it. But it does join the park, and that's why
Yeah,
I think
drove
the,
by there and looked at it.
they need to sit. I believe there's been some conversation about that. But the city manager's here every day, and anytime you want to call, he'll be welcome to keep you advised.
Right, thank you so much.
And
Yeah.
Wait, did you have a
No,
question?
not for them, just us as a group. Mayor, I think about a year, 18 months ago, I'd kind of requested a map of all city property. Before we start declaring something surplus or not, can we get our engineer to make a relatively large map of all property in the city limits so that we can kind of study it and see maybe, you know, is any of it need to be surplus or not surplus?
You talking about just seeing where the city owns property?
Yeah, I'd just like to have a map that declares everything the city owns, yeah.
that was initially designed for extra parking for Harmon Park, but I've never seen Harmon Park with enough reason to park over there. I spoke with Carrie today. She's in McMinnville at a training that ended at 4 p.m., so she probably won't make the meeting. But she said that she had no issue with it because they really didn't have any plans for it.
It's kind of like a Victory Presbyterian Church. I believe that's our parking lot, right?
That's correct.
So there's a lot of property around town we own that we probably don't, well, I know y'all, somebody does, but that I'd like to get a map that just shows us, you know, kind of what the city owns everywhere. Is that possible?
I'm pretty sure it is. We can get
From
St. John's Engineering
Yeah.
to,
For sure get the addresses.
yeah.
It might be a little bit different, you know, you'd have to, maybe this type of map adjacent to all the properties as opposed to one big.
We can get
Or
one.
they do a little dot. You know,
We can get one.
anything.
That's no problem.
Further questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch. Thank you, guys.
Item number 2, request for the appointment of Todd Autry to the Industrial Development Board to replace vacancy seat of Ronald Robinson due to resignation, which term ends June 1st, 2029. Councilman Michael.
Mr. Autry's here. You
He
want-
is. As we talked last month, there's going to be several open positions in the next couple of months at the IDB, the Industrial Development Board. This one came up because of Mr. Robinson's resignation to it. I would like to introduce Todd Autry. He's here tonight. For those people who don't know him, he'll be available for questions right now or after the meeting. He moved to Lewisburg in '96, where he started working for the Lewisburg Industrial and Welding. First as delivery, then he went into sales, and now he runs the place. So he has worked with both our industrial people and our commercial, meeting their needs in welding and office products and different supplies like that. So he has worked on a daily basis with our industrial managers and the business people. He married locally, and I think his wife works for LES.
LAS, she's got it.
So, and he has a son and a grandson, so he's well rooted in Lewisburg, been here about 29 years. He lives in Ward 2, so in my ward, so he's here available for us to ask him any questions, meeting for lunch, have coffee with him, and to squelch any qualms we might have about him being a good candidate or a nominee, so I'll be bringing his name up next Tuesday.
Would you come up to the podium and introduce yourself as well?
Todd Autry, employee at Lewisburg Industrial and Welding. I'm here for any questions that you may have. Appreciate the opportunity to be for the seat on the IDB board, so be glad to answer any questions anyone has.
Does anyone have any questions?
No, I got a little statement, I don't have any questions, but years ago, just to give everybody a little history, Wayburn Wheeler with Lewisburg Auto Welding was on our industrial board, and he had his pulse well on the industry. He called on the industry. I think Todd has his pulse on the industry and manufacturing here, and I think he'd make a real good candidate for that position.
I agree.
Further questions?
Nice meeting you, Todd.
Nice meeting
Excuse
you.
me. Go ahead, Linda, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm done.
Did I? Okay.
I did want to let you know that I did turn in my resignation, that made it effective March the 31st.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
That'll be
Thanks,
on the
Todd.
agenda for Tuesday. Next.
Item 3, request to make application for Tennessee Department of Health Healthy Built Environment grant in the amount of $80,000, and there's an error, it's with no match. It shouldn't have been 100%, but with no match. This grant funding will be used at Harmon Park for improvements.
Questions about that?
Yeah, we also need to change item 3
Yeah,
on the resolution,
Yeah,
stating that,
that there is no match.
yeah, it's 100% matching grants, but we need to state in there is no match.
yes. And we'll be doing that with the others that are
Marked item 3 on the.
3, 4, and 5.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, item 3.
Okay, that was item 3, and so we're moving that to the council meeting. Item 4, request to make application for Tennessee Department of Health Project Diabetes to grant, for grant is up to 3 years with funds not to exceed $150,000 per year for maximum total of $450,000. Grant is no match, not 100%, but no match. The funding will be used to resurface the tennis courts and the new pickleball courts. And the resolution will be corrected to take off the 100% match.
I think there's some fencing involved in the request as well. Is that a,
No, that's second.
pardon me?
Second reading on the fencing goes to council.
No, I'm saying that in the application for that, I was told that it includes the tennis court, resurfacing pickleball, and the replacing parts of the fence.
The fencing around the pickleball court.
So,
Okay, that wasn't another thing. Okay.
What would Carrie use, she's got 20,000 in her budget for the resurfacing of the tennis courts now, for this fiscal year. I wonder what she would use that money for if we just put it back.
No, I think that would come back in as a unobligated surplus.
Yeah.
But $20,000 wouldn't touch resurfacing.
Right.
I think it's 50 or 60.
I'm aware it was about 50.
Yeah, so that just offsets it.
Is this a competitive grant, or do we know?
From what I understand, what Carrie said it's really hard to.
Pretty much every
Yeah,
grant
hard
you
to
see
get.
is.
Mhm. Everybody's
Yeah,
after
So
everybody
there's no
needs it.
guarantee.
Everybody's after them.
But we'll have that on the agenda without objections Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Further
Okay.
questions? Next.
Item 5, request to make application for a AARP grant in the amount of $20,000 with no match. The funding will be used to buy lighting for the walking track, and also I will correct that one.
Well, it has no
It
match.
has no.
Okay, it didn't.
And
Okay.
item
Yeah, it's good.
4 had, okay, it doesn't, it has, yeah.
I know that we
Yeah.
corrected it, so.
How much is it for? Do
It's
we-
for $20,000.
Okay, questions about that?
Yeah, we just need to put item 4, that it is no match.
Yeah,
In the
it's got
resolution.
it,
Yeah.
providing $20,000 with no match.
No, 5's okay. I'm talking about
Okay, 4, yeah.
We need to add no match to 4.
So without objection, that'll be on Tuesday's agenda.
Okay, item 6, request and receive funds for the Spark Good local grant from our local Walmart in the amount of $4,000 with no match. The funding will be used to purchase an inflatable fire safety house for teaching fire safety in schools and community. Debbie and Drew, any questions?
Drew, want to speak to that? This is not competitive, I assume.
No, we've actually, this is just to receive the funds. We've actually already been awarded the funds. It's to replace the trailer-mounted fire safety house that we have that takes a 3/4 ton pickup truck to move. This will purchase a 20-foot by 30-foot and a 12-foot tall inflatable, weighs about 150 pounds. But it's interactive. It has a low crawl in it for the kids to crawl under an inflatable smoke. It has a stove in it. We can actually go, when we go to the schools now, we can set up inside the gymnasiums instead of outside in the cold. During the winter months is usually when we do fire safety months, so that's what it'll go towards. We're getting it from the National Fire Safety Council, same place we get all of our pub ed materials for the schools every year.
But Walmart's funding it, that's
Yes.
correct? Now we require a resolution?
Yes, sir.
Okay, those questions?
I just want, Drew, is this from a local Walmart, or is it actually going back through Walmart Foundation?
It's approved by the local Walmart manager. It has to be within the community. You're going to use the funds. So you request it through this program, and then he signs off on the programs he wants to fund, and he has promised to fund more for
Yeah.
the city. So
Yeah,
Good.
will everybody, all department heads check with the Walmart Foundation too? Which you need to go through a local thing, but for any other, see if we got any more money over there available for any department. Because I know we've got some for economic development years and years ago.
Further questions?
Thank you.
On the agenda for Tuesday, without objection? Next.
item 7, discussed about the city of Lewisburg only maintaining city property. Public Works Director Brandon.
Brandon?
Does anybody have any questions for me on this? Any specific?
Yeah, give us a little background why you feel like, you're not asking for a resolution or anything, you're just trying to get an explanation out there.
Basically, the biggest thing this is going to affect is going to be cemeteries. Right now, there's 9 cemeteries we take care of. We only sell plots out of 2 of them, so the other, was it 7 cemeteries, right? Yeah, 7 cemeteries. I mean, we maintain them, but we have no ownership or anything over them. So I just want to know if y'all feel like we should keep maintaining this stuff, or should we drop it?
How many people would this free you up with?
Ma'am?
How many people would, if you stopped mowing the 7, what would that, how many people, how would that benefit you and your budget?
Well, right now, it's hard for us to even keep up with the 9 cemeteries, with the people we have. So this will allow us to take better care of Lone Oak and Cook Cemetery.
Would you be able to help Parks and Recreation do some of their mowing?
I mean, we do that now.
Well, I know you do, but I mean, like give them another person or, you know.
I don't think it will help them in that way, but we may even be able to focus on the walking trail a little better with it. I know at one time we were mowing the walking trail, but I know it's hard enough for us to find the help to even get Cooks and Lone Oak done.
Right.
So,
And I think those need to be your priority. most
yes, ma'am,
definitely.
those are definitely priorities. So, I mean,
And the others, you know, I always contribute to yearly Decoration Day where my parents are buried, and I think a lot of people do. I mean, don't these other cemeteries have organizations or churches that support them?
Well, a lot
And
of,
the people that are buried there, or are they just that old?
a lot of cemeteries are abandoned, so if they quit doing it, they're gonna grow up weedy. But, you know, I'm not
Do
saying.
we do it forever?
I
mean, I
know.
don't
I
know.
mean, I
I don't know
understand.
what the right answer is.
Well, first of all, are all these cemeteries in the name of the city of Lewisburg?
I know Lone Oak is for sure.
No, I'm talking about the other.
The other 7, I don't believe so.
Well, no, I know that, there's cemetery, Boyette Cemetery by me belongs to the city of Lewisburg. I don't know that you could,
It
Never seen the deed
belongs
on
to the
it.
city?
yes, I think so.
Well, we need
But
to
we can
find
check,
out.
we'll check the tax.
Cemetery?
We went, remember, a little while, a few years ago, we went, and the only thing that we couldn't find any ownership on any of the cemeteries.
Only ones was Lone Oak
Lone Oak and Cooks
and Cooks.
is the only thing that we found at the courthouse on record. And, of course, what started it, I think, back in the day, when they did have the prisoners, they started doing other cemeteries just to keep prisoners
Busy.
Active, yeah.
had something to do, but, yeah, we went to the courthouse and the Cooks and Lone Oak were the only two.
Well, I know the Boyette Cemetery, when Larry McKnight was councilman, that's when that was, I thought, turned over to the city of Lewisburg, but that, his wife's family is Boyette's, and so I know they've been mowing it since then, but whether it was a deed transfer, I think we're down to that question now. And that's easy enough to research.
Well, why don't we do that and then talk again, once we find out what the answer is?
Does anybody know about these cemeteries, if they've got a foundation, or like say a church group, or, I know I didn't realize this, but the little cemetery down in Belfast back 20 years ago had about $400,000 worth of Coca-Cola stock.
The cemetery had it?
Yeah, I mean.
Bequeathed
it
to
was
it?
just, yeah. So, I don't know, I think it needs to be more thought.
think
I
we
don't know if
need to
just need to give
investigate.
up mowing the cemeteries, I don't.
I know the boy,
Private cemeteries, they collect dues from their members and everything. If it's a private, they usually collect yearly dues. And that yearly dues do pay for the maintenance of the property.
Did we check with all of them to make sure they have funds to take care of it themselves?
We can check, but, we can do that. Reach out to them and see if they collect any kind of dues.
How do
I'd
we
kinda
even
like
know
to
who
know
to,
that.
well, how do we even know who to reach out to?
well, I think we got to start by look.
I have no idea.
Let's look at
Look at-
deeds
is it-
first.
Deeds
The-
first.
The
and then-
funeral homes would probably.
The funeral
know.
homes can tell you a lot about the cemetery, because I
Yeah,
know,
because they've
I
got
know,
to make
I
a
know
phone call whenever.
Beechwood has got their own organization. They collect money and they take care of it. My family cemetery is out in Belfast, Cedar Grove. We pay dues and we hired somebody to mow and take care of it. So most of them do have. I think what's happening with a lot of them though is generation after generation, some of these younger kids don't know that this is their family cemetery, and then it just kind of falls between the cracks, and then they go out there and see it's mowed, so, hey, somebody's taking care of it. So, you know what I'm saying, there's no effort to find out what happened to whatever.
Well, going back to the Boyette Cemetery, I personally cleared it. It was a jungle, but it was, the city was, like say, when Larry was on as a councilman, so if there was a resolution or something, if that was the case, we'd maybe have to rescind the resolution to turn it back. I know I'm not in a position to mow it anymore, and I don't know that.
Is that close, up there, closer to your neighborhood or over where Larry lives?
No, it's right next, it's in Eddie Wiles' backyard.
Okay, okay.
It wasn't a resolution, it was a roll call vote, because I was here when they,
2009, wasn't
it
it?
was 2009. See, I
Okay.
used to do the cemeteries, take information or stuff like that, but, yeah, it was just a roll call vote.
What other properties, Brandon, that it may contain?
Really, that's the only biggest
Do we mow the
thing.
one over here where the police park? I know we use it, but do we own that?
We don't own it, no, but we do mow it, yeah.
Well, will we continue to mow it if the police has access to use it for parking?
that would put Scott in a bind on that one. If we quit mowing it, they might not let them park there no
Well,
more,
no,
so.
that's what I'm worried about. I mean, they're gracious enough to let the police department use it, so I just wanna make sure.
I really don't know the deal between the police department and that private property. Scott may know something more better on that than me.
I guess I just wanna make sure that if we stop.
I think was, Walter Bizarre.
Yeah, it was.
They've never said nothing, but we're not the only ones that park in that lot. We don't have enough parking space, but there's people that park there for the Dixie, Theater, and everybody else. So the agreement, whatever the agreement was, and I don't know that it was written or just understood, goes way before me.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how long have y'all been mowing that?
We mowed it.
It's
As long as I've been here for 20 years, I mean.
I guess my concerns are, I'm for it, you still mowing that and y'all using it, but if we pass something, is that gonna kick that out? That's my concern.
Well, I think we just need to get a list of the 7, see if we can find some ownership for them.
Yeah.
And see which ones can be maintained by a church or a civic group or a historical
We
society.
may have to be selective.
It may be some exceptions in
And
there.
we could say, you know, we're not gonna mow these 4, and we need to mow this, cause
Yeah.
we use it, or, you know.
But we gotta get something in writing, cause that's why we're where we are right now.
That's why
It
we're
was
mowing what
not
we don't know
mocking
we're
what they
mowing.
did, but it was a whole lot of handshake deals
No,
and
no, I'm
nothing
sorry.
ever written. And as we grow,
Yeah.
it's coming back to bite us.
Yeah, no,
And
I understand the cemeteries, but I
From
just
a
wanna,
legal thing, we're not supposed to use taxpayer dollars to maintain or work on private property. I don't want us to get in trouble.
Mr. Huddle will have to advise, be part of that decision, advise.
It'll
us
be a
on that
big
as well.
part of it.
Okay, so we'll do some further study on that.
We'll work on this.
yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, what's wrong with getting the inmates to do it? Is that not a subjective, that's a problem?
If you can do it, do it. 'cause
I'm
we've
not
all
an
tried.
inmate. That's a problem.
We've all tried, okay?
Hey,
Time will take care of that.
Yeah,
So
time.
just give that a little time, but
okay.
we'll have to trust me, will you?
About a year and a half.
Okay, is there any other business? Not, do I?
Congratulations, Ron.
Thank you.
I got a question.
Oh, okay.
I'll just ask you, I'll talk to you after, I'll just talk to you.
Anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Okay, motion by, and Shannon seconds. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it.
I